Some rules of engagement before you take the signals. So I've got some rules, remediation and rationale. So the first one is the correct position size and the fact that you're not risking more than 5% on the trade. There's a link here, so click that, and that'll tell you what position size that you need to use with respect to the size of your account. You never oversize, you overtrade, and you always stipulate the stop loss. Rule 2, does the signal make sense from a technical view? Is it above or below pivot? So check the search tool, and then there's the Action Forex link, which you can click. Say if it says buy, but we're below pivot, you'd wait simply for price to go above pivot before you bought. And you'd also want to always stipulate your exit before entry. Now, does the signal make sense from a fundamental macro view? See, for this would make sense because we're seeing markets rally and the dollar is weakening. So that would make sense for these two. So that's what I mean by the fundamental macro view. Check the safe haven flows. So check your daily risk calculation, which I do every morning, and understand the safe haven flows in a risk on off environment is key. So the Swiss franc is and the Japanese yen are safe havens, and the dollar as well. So the riskier currencies are the Australian dollar, the euro, the pound, the Kiwi, and CAD's fundamental. And then you've got gold. Gold just doing its own thing at the moment. But there's just 3 rules. There's a supplementary bit of information is to check your calendar as well. Probably going to add that to the rule. So we've got lots of data today for the pound USD. So, and if you look at the technical, it might not be a good trade. So there's lots of things you need to check before you just jump in blindly. Also, because we got rid of the groups, you'll need to check this because I can't do this. I can't stare at this all day. So if you've taken a signal, say the pound USD, that's great, and then you enter, and what you do, you move your stop ahead of break even. So you've got an insurance policy in place. So yeah, just remember these 3 rules. There's an optional one is to check your calendar, which I recommend. And yeah, so that's it. Just remember those 3 things. There's your risk. Does it make sense from a technical view? Does it make sense from a fundamental view? And then there's check the calendar as well. We've got FOMC later today. Because of that, and all the UK data we're getting this morning, I wouldn't take this one. So even though it says buy, you want to sort of use some rationale before you leapt in. But hopefully your losses will be small because what you're doing, you're entering on the pivot system. So you wouldn't be losing more than 15, 20 pips on a trade because the pivot is your line in the sand. So remember to check that. Very good URL there. And yeah, so remember to keep checking this this sheet. So when you load it in the morning, it might just say lots of no's, but that's because it hasn't loaded the data yet. So depending on your connection speed, it will eventually load. So if you do see in the morning there's lots of no's, just wait, give it like a minute, then it'll populate those fields. So you see we've got EJ, it's no longer a sell. So you just want to keep an eye on it, and then you should be okay. But remember to keep your losses small and use these rules, and you'll be fine. And I'm going to add a 4th one about the data. Check your calendar. And yeah, hopefully you have a good day, and I'll speak to you later.